Welcome back to the Reddit realm. Today's story is about a guy rethinking his engagement after his fiancee's sudden behavior change. Is he wrong for wanting to break it off? Let's dive in. I just recently proposed to my girlfriend of 2 years, Sharon, like a month and a half ago, and it feels like the second the ring got on her finger, her attitude and behavior took a total 180. The entire time we were dating, we seemed exceptionally compatible, and at least it seemed we shared common beliefs and morals. 7 weeks ago, I proposed, and she said yes, and I felt like it was the happiest moment for the two of us. But not even a week later, it's like her attitude totally flipped. I thought I knew all her friends, but one day I came home and there were 6 women I've never seen before, and Sharon introduced me to them. I was curious as to why I was just now meeting them when I already met Sharon's two best friends, Michelle and Octavia, both not present, over a year and a half ago. Sharon said she wanted to make sure we were a sure thing before I met her inner circle. I found this strange, not to mention it was a weeknight, and they were quickly draining my wine rack of wine. Sharon still had her own place, but she stayed with me so often she practically lives her. Still, I found it incredibly rude when they left, with 4 empty bottles of rosé in their wake. I tried to talk to Sharon about having uninvited guests on weeknights, and she dismissed my grievance very flippantly, more that she brushed me off. The following weeks, she went out with the girls several times, and when she brought the girls to my place, twice without notice, once with notice to appease me, her words, they all treated me like a butler, shaking their empty wine glasses at me for refills. After the 4th time, I made it clear that I will get a locked wine rack. Sharon just called me no fun after that. It gets worse. Sharon decided me and the girls got off on the wrong foot and said we should have dinner together at a nice restaurant. Well, I went, and it was not great. The 6 kept prodding me about my life, my house, my career, but deflected every question I asked. It got especially bad at night when they started talking about modern relationships and jealousy, and one of them brought up some key points about relationships that I thought Sharon and I were on the same page about, specifically what-ifs regarding polyamory and being friends with exes. To my shock, Sharon said we shouldn't be too hasty on such decisions, which was a total 180 to how she expressed herself on these things only a month prior, where she was vehemently against keeping ex-intimate partners in friend circles and was staunchly monogamous. The worst part was when the bill arrived, Sharon announced it should be together and slid me the check. I told her she can't be serious, and we got into a bit of an argument. I ended it by putting my amount down in cash and walked out, leaving them to figure out the rest of the bill. The next days after that, Sharon kept calling me toxic and fragile, but every time I even pushed at it, she would give an apology and promised she was just stressed at work. It's nuts. We haven't even planned the wedding yet. The worst part was this Monday. When at work, I got a Nest doorbell alert, checked, and saw Sharon and one of her 6 new friends arriving at my place, going in and exiting with my golf clubs. This set was a gift from my father, and it cost a pretty penny too, so Sharon lending it out without my permission got me pissed. I immediately called Sharon and told her and her friend to return the clubs. Sharon tried to gaslight me with, "But you promised to lend the clubs to her boyfriend, remember?" I told her the club's cost would move it into a serious crime, and her friend had an hour to return them or the cops would be called. Sharon kept insisted she got my permission, and I told her to cut the crap. Well, not 45 minutes later, I got another notification of Sharon and her friend coming back with the clubs and going inside, leaving them, Sharon's friend, flipping off the Nest doorbell on the way out. I got home and saw Sharon's friend literally just threw the clubs and back on the living room floor. Sharon tried to talk to me about my toxicity again, and I told her again to cut the crap. I said if I knew this was how she was, I would have never proposed. That seemed to freak her out, and she again insisted that she was stressed from work. But I wasn't buying it anymore. I told her to return the ring and her key, and we would talk about our relationship this weekend. She cried and begged me not to cancel the engagement and insisted that it was just stress. I told her again we will talk about it this weekend. She finally relented. I had my house rekeyed anyways after she left, just to be safe. Sharon has been texting me constant messages of love and apologies for getting swept up and insisted she was only wanting to show me off to her close friends. I don't know, I'm just not buying it. The same close friends have been sending me texts daily, calling me toxic and fragile again, saying they knew I wasn't man enough for Sharon or secure enough to share her with friends. A few of my friends that knew Sharon the entire 2 years we were dating were surprised and can't believe she turned hide this quick, and that there must be something missing, or that I'm leaving something out. They say I must have said something to trigger her friends to act like this, and I had to have been the somewhere along the process. I don't know, it's a lot to take from all directions right now. Comment 1. 2 years, and she didn't introduce you to these friends? She knows how terrible they are and how terrible she is with them. She put on quite a show to get the ring, and now that she thought she had you locked down, she can show her true colors. Unless you are leaving out something, you are definitely NTA. You are not toxic or fragile, you have standards. What she did at the restaurant and with the clubs is toxic. It seems like she wants to show them she has you wrapped around her finger and that you will allow her and them to do whatever they want. I wouldn't give her another chance to use you for what you can do or give to her. No one that loves you would treat you like this, friends or no friends present. Comment 2. You said you had met two of her friends, Michelle and Octavia, previously. Have they had anything to say about this flipped behavior or the 6 strangers that materialized? Comment 3. Tell her you're too stressed from work to talk about your relationship right now. It sounds like this is a toxic group of frenemies she has that constantly try to one-up each other, and I bet that this group of friends has been the end of all previous relationships, so she learned to keep them hidden. Comment 4. She wasn't smart enough to wait to flip the bait and switch until after the wedding. She thought as soon as you got engaged, she had crossed the finish line and started her victory lap. Her inner circle is clearly her bad decision support group too. The sooner you can dump her, the better for you. Comment 5. Why are you not secure enough for wanting to be treated with common decency? You dodged a bullet. Also, what man agrees to taking a stranger's clubs? Sounds like they're all just mad they can't use you. Good call on the locks changed. This won't be the last you hear from them. A. Don't block them in case you need to bring any evidence in. That's where this is leaning. And B. Please update us. Comment 6. Your friends are idiots and triggered? Nah, nobody normal comes to someone's house uninvited and drinks a ton of the person's wine without permission. That alone is a big no-no, but everything else on top of that? Nope. Sharon needed to be kicked out a long time ago. She and her friends were nothing but disrespectful towards you and your things, and just saw you as someone to use, period. And her behavior shows she didn't not care as long as she could use you and have access to your things. The only reason she is giving fake apologies is because you leaving means she can't use you anymore. And the same goes for her leech-a-hole friends. Instead of apologizing and want to make it right, be reimbursing you for the things they used, they are insulting you, and she isn't even telling them to stop. So, you made the correct choice by not only kicking her out, but not going through with marrying her. Her and her friends are nothing but users who wasn't going to change at all and continue to do you. Comment 7. She kept her coven away from you until she had the ring on her finger and thought that it gave her total control. The friends she introduced you to, claiming that they were her best friends, were actually decoys so that you wouldn't see what she really is and what her inner circle really are. She should really have talked to them more when you realized what was happening. She's been playing the victim and claiming she has no idea what could possibly be wrong while her friends have been messaging you, calling you names. She played her hand badly and didn't get the backup she needed from her witches. Put this down to a monumental mistake and don't let her back in. Send her the messages from her friends and tell her that the crying and fake apologies won't work because you know how she really feels. Let them fight it out amongst themselves and move on. Comment 8. The Sharon you dated for 2 years was a mask she was wearing to get the ring. That's why you never met the 6 Real Housewives rejects until after you were engaged. The woman she has shown you these last few weeks is the real Sharon. Run far and run fast, my friend. I'm a female, so this is from a woman's perspective. You need to cut that bitch off and run. You are her wallet. That's literally what she's parading you around as, and she does not respect you. It's going to get worse if you marry this woman. Trust me. I have friends like her, and they're never satisfied unless you're literally doing anything and everything for her because she's trying to control you. Comment 9. I'm a woman, and I will just go ahead and say what a lot of women don't really talk about much. Some women just want to get married, and sometimes these women will find a partner that meets all of their requirements and play the perfect GF role for whatever time it takes. They will say the right things, pretend to like hobbies, etc. Keep certain expectations that might be bothersome to themselves, etc. Once they get that ring, then they start to lay down the actual rules and the actual expectations. A lot of women like this are smart enough to wait until after the actual wedding to flip the script. This one jumped the gun. Now, of course, not all, not even most women are like this, but quite a few are. And guys seem to be completely oblivious to it. Comment 10. This is the horror story everyone hears about where the person you propose to suddenly has a complete change. You're living that complete change. You are not the asshole here. She finally showed you her true colors. She's a gold digger and she thinks you'll roll over for all of her inane, materialistic, toxic desires. Maybe this was word choice or something, but you made mention that you were told I wasn't man enough for Sharon or secure enough to share her with friends. I'm worried about that share with her friends part, especially since it sounds like she wants to be non-monogamous at some point later on, and you mentioned that also where you thought she was staunchly monogamous. You did the right things to get the ring back and to change all the locks. She's not who she presented herself to be, and that's truly unfortunate. I'm sorry that you were tricked into believing her lies. You deserve better from a partner than this. Please update when you can. But buddy, NTA, you saved yourself heartache and sorrow later on. She's a leech, and her friends are life sentences. Comment 11. Run, don't stop, and collect, don't visit home. Run. That woman couldn't wait till start using you as an ATM and resource for him expensive friends. Their behavior after the breakup shows who they really are, and it's not pleasant. She hid them because they're all peaked in high school brats who likely scam and skim boyfriend to boyfriend trying to exist as social elites. She literally tried to steal from your house under the guise of lending these clubs, which you have no memory of agreeing to loaning out, let alone the BS excuse of being stressed from work. Speak with her best friends of the outer circle, Michelle and her boyfriend, who and what the hell. I'd happening comment 12. Consider yourself supremely lucky she's showing you who she is before you're actually married. Hiding your inner circle for 2 years is weird, especially seeing as her two BFFs aren't part of that group. Expecting you to pay for dinner, be a waiter, and lend your things is also massive red flags. I'd run my guy. Comment 13. Stay strong. You know who you are. You're not the one who's changing. Check in with your close, trusted circle often. People like this woman can make you feel like you're running on quicksand. Whenever you're interacting with her, treat it like a clinical observation of her. Also, look into getting yourself a therapist, just in case echoes of her gaslighting start to creep up later. Therapy is there to help us feel better in life, not because we're crazy or broken. Sorry if this is a little all over the place. I'm rooting for you. Comment 14. I'm just glad showed her hand too early in her little scam. She could have waited until you had a marriage without a prenup and really screwed you over. I'm sorry this happened to you, but I'm glad you saw the light before it's too late. I also hope you go prenup, no matter how nice the girl seems. Comment 15. I don't buy this bullshit because no friend would be like, oh, she had 6 friends that were her inner circle that she never mentioned for 2 years straight, and the moment you proposed, she suddenly introduced them to you and started treating you like shit? I guess it's probably your fault. Come up with a better premise for your stupid story. Comment 16. Dude, take it from me as a woman, this girl is full of shit. She hid her true self and personality from you until she got a guarantee. Dump her ass ASAP. You are NTA. She is completely disrespectful, doing things behind your back, giving her friends free rein and pretending that your opinion doesn't matter only to gaslight you and call you toxic when she is the toxic one. She has literally been lying to you, and now that you are doubting things, she is manipulating you to the highest degree. If she loved you, she would never treat you this way. She loves what you give her. She doesn't love you. Comment 17. Ask everyone she knows, including her parents' family, who all these crazy women are stealing from you and harassing you. Pay $50 online for a background check on your ex, and so a social media deep dive. There is something weird going on here. Sounds like an 80s, 90s movie plot, like a Cruel Intentions plot or something similar. Comment 18. Listen, brother, the real question is this something you want to deal with for the next 2, 4, 10 years? Or more? Period. We often ask questions that we already know the answer to. We just don't want to believe it. You are a meal ticket and she feels like she secured the bag. Calling someone toxic and fragile is disrespectful ASF. She is trying to emasculate and gaslight you so you won't bring up more issues to confront her about. She's rude as all hell and trying to groom you to tolerate her bullshit. Leave her ass alone. You would not be the asshole and your future self would thank you for it. We all deserve people who love and respect us, all of the time. Comment 19. She feels she has you locked down, so her mask is coming off. Tell her you aren't marrying her and tell her why. She'll chime up with a sob story that she was ruining it because she felt she didn't deserve you and will start acting like before. Mask won't come back off again until you are married. She faked being someone she never was. Comment 20. Better that you find out who she really is now before you got married and had kids with her. Do not have sex with her. If you do, wear condoms you provide. I wouldn't be surprised if she suddenly becomes pregnant, especially if you break up with her. The mask dropped and you've seen who she really is. Run, block her and all her friends, and get security cameras for the inside and outside of your house. She and her friends are the type to become vindictive. Audio or video record they break up. Or do it in a public place where a friend of yours she doesn't know can be a witness. Like you sit right next to each other and your friend's back is turned to her so she can't see them. Close enough where they can hear the conversation. If she makes a threat, you have a witness in case she makes a false allegation against you. Do not stay with her because it only gets worse from here. Comment 21. Holy shit, this is crazy. I'm a woman and I'm telling you, run. You are definitely NTA. She was, in my opinion, being what she thought you wanted until she got the ring. Once she felt a level of security, the mask came off. Thank God she didn't wait till after you were married for her true self to show. You are not toxic or fragile. From what you've described, her and her friends are extremely toxic. Stay away, move on, and close the book firmly on this chapter. Comment 22 2 years in, and you're meeting the inner circle. That's a bit sus. Sounds like she was being a different person to get the Mrs. Vr personal opinion. Typically, when I'm dating someone new, I show them the least desirable side of my friend group off the bat. That way they get the unfiltered experience of what it's like being a part of my, and my hood rat friends, life. I think it saves time that way, and can be quite comical at times. Comment 23. This bitch is bad news. This is how my mom always was. She'd have a new boyfriend every 6 months to a year. She would act so perfect for the first couple months, we'd move into the boyfriend's house and then she would just turn into her normal, terroristic bitch self and ruin the guy. It happened so many times. Comment 24. But I don't know if this is a trend or common things these days. These actually happening in my family and friends right now. Good thing the girl flipped before marriage. In my case, they flip after the marriage. It's so toxic and a lot of money wasted. Many bridges being burned, many hearts being hurted. I'm so sad and scared for my son in future. These girls willing to do anything to secure good man with good income, then flip after marriage. The show off to friends, being spoiled and bitch. Alienate the husband from family and friends. Leech of and play victim when confronted and even faked abused. I'm so glad being in Reddit seeing man like this being alert and not doormat. I wish op the best in life and throw away the fiancée. She's not worth it. I show my respect to all the girls and women out there who work hard to have what they have and to better life than leeching of a man then flaunt on social media. Comment 25. She didn't change. She's just showing you who she really is. The person you fell in love with isn't real. Narcissists and abusers often wear a mask, and it falls off sometime during the relationship. And then the other person in their relationship spends the rest of the relationship trying to figure out what changed and why. They try hard to get the person to change back into the person they fell in love with, but they never do, at least not permanently. They do things like try to love bomb their partner and other tactics to get them to stay. And then they revert back to their nasty behaviors again. It can become a cycle of being treated like shit, being love-bombed, rinse and repeat, until someone breaks up for good. Your hopefully STBX was gaslighting you about the golf clubs and trying to manipulate you in the other circumstances. Good thing you're not falling for it. Don't. She's gonna try other tricks to get you to stay. Comment 26. I got halfway through and skipped to write this. Cut and fucking run, bro. Her and her inner circle were willing to disrespect you like that from jump. It's only downhill from here. Comment 27. She's 30 years old. Neither work stress nor the influence of her friends are mitigating factors that would in any way excuse her behavior. It almost seems like she has spent the past 2 years bragging to her friends of how she's going to string you along until you propose, and then she's going to take over your life. She really expected you to play your part and accept it. She clearly does not hold you in as high regard as you had, until now, held her. Comment 28. Glad you are seeing her real side. She knew she sucks, so hid this side from you. Or this could be a TikTok test to see how much you love her. If this is the case, I would still split up. If someone wants to put you through such a test to prove your love, she's not worth it. Comment 29. Wow, the gaslighting is intense in this one. Next time her or her friends call you toxic, you should tell them that they are right and that you love her enough not to keep her in a toxic relationship. So it's now over. Use their own games against them, since they will never be convinced she or they are at fault. If my comment is maybe misunderstood, what I am saying is you are NTA, but should just play their little game and end things. Comment 30. There would be no discussion. She valued her nasty friend's approval over respecting you in the relationship. Comment 31. What a weird situation. Run away as fast as you can. I guess consider yourself lucky that she showed her true self before you got married. Comment 32. A lot of abusers put in a good show right up until marriage, or they feel they have you locked down. Her personality changed the day you put a ring on her finger? Run. Comment 33. She really thought she could say, I bagged him, so now I can treat him how I want. Like she really thought she could show her friends that you were ready and willing to do everything she pleased. You not giving in to her and her friends' demands is toxic? Then what do you call her gaslighting and manipulation? Sell the ring, get rid of the leech. Comment 34. Well, at least she did this crap before the wedding. My ex was a wonderful man. He loved being impulsive and fun and outgoing. Literally, within a week after we were married, he changed. No more going out, hanging out with friends. He wanted children. Before we were married, he said he didn't want any. He figured he had me, so he didn't have to try anymore. It was like an on-off switch. I put up with this for 3 years and finally asked him for a divorce. When I told his mom, and I quote, he's killing your fun, isn't he? His father is exactly the same way. Comment 35, sir. You have seen with your own eyes who she really is. You're lucky it happened before you were married. I bet it was therapeutic to write this out. You know what you need to do, as you seem to have made the first step on your own. This happened to me years ago. I moved in with what I thought then was an amazing companion and potential life partner. Similarly, she did a 180, and we split early on because I wasn't having it. Comment 36 years ago, a buddy started dating this very nice lady. She was kind and engaging and friendly, just kind of a cool chick. She was in college for pharmaceuticals and was going to graduate soon. After dating my pal for about a year, they decided to get married. Engaged to wedding day was like 3 months. Once they got married, she wouldn't come straight home like she used to. She would show up at home at all hours of the night. She would disappear for the entire weekend, only coming home sometimes to sleep, shower, and leave. This went on for a while. My pal finally got her to fess up with what the hell was going on. Turns out, her and all her college pals were really into doing pills and other drugs. She apparently had stopped long enough to lock down a husband and then went back to her partying ways. So, shit like this happens. People will go on their best behavior long enough to lock down someone that will support them and then go back to being garbage. Comment 37. Dude, even if her behaviors could somehow be explained, the company she keeps is very telling. Incredibly rude and disrespectful without boundaries. And this is her inner circle. I don't know how you didn't kick them out with the shaking wine glass behavior. Comment 38. You dodged a bullet. She played you and thought she won. If you go back, just imagine how life will be once she actually has you locked in with a marriage or kids. I seen the other comment, and there's a reason the 2 friends you knew before won't talk about or care for the 6. Should be all the info you need to run. Comment 39. If I were you, and forgive the pettiness, but it seems well earned by her trick her into giving the ring back. Such as I noticed something and I want to fix it. Keep the ring, drop her. She put up a good act. The way this reads is like a marriage fraud story about to happen. Comment 40. Get rid of her, dude. I was reading feeling 50-50 until I got to the part about the golf clubs. If anyone ever touched my golf clubs without asking, it would immediately be a deal breaker. I have a backup set I loan out to friends, but golf clubs cost more than basically anything else I own, besides my car and house. Lending them out to some random girl's boyfriend I don't know is just asking to have them broken or end up missing. Then, for her to not even understand, that is mind-boggling. I'd be done immediately personally. What if you took her most expensive piece of jewelry and said, "Oh, my buddy's girlfriend needs to borrow this." And that's the story. What do you think? Should he leave or try to work things out? Let me know in the comments. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell for more stories from the Reddit realm. See you next time.